Hi, everybody. Welcome to your creative module. In this module, I'm going to show you a couple of the posts and things that I've created through Canva. I did want to showcase Canva because I don't think people realize how often big names are actually using Canva as leverage to create content to be put out on social, not just on social media, but like on news outlets and on advertisements. It's very interesting. Once you start using Canva, you'll start to spot the designs out in the wild, basically, and it almost reinforces to me like, oh wow, okay, so this is a great platform to pick. So I did want to highlight for you. I've seen a lot of Canva templates out there. I see a lot of creative out there that looks a lot like stuff on Canva. If you don't have a creative bone in your body, guess what? Me neither. The first few concepts that I designed, including our website, were so stale and linear, it was embarrassing. My cousin who founded the podcast with me, she helped me out with pulling in more creative and putting a more creative eye towards things. I have thus learned how to do things a little bit better, which basically is this whole process. Throughout the guide, you're really going to hear me say that quite a bit. Like, you're going to learn things over time. What you produce in the first few episodes, few months of your podcast, you will look back on some point and be like, oh, it's cringing. But like, this is the beginnings of it. And that's wonderful because everyone starts from somewhere. You're never going to really just open the gate and be amazing at something. I mean, some people are amazing at things, but you will not be amazing at everything. You do have to learn and you got to pivot a little bit too, right? Like, it's really just not going to be a straight shot every single time. So again, when I started, very sad, very depressing how I was in terms of creativity, and also embarrassing because I do work with creatives and I would think that I would have learned something at this point, but nevertheless, I'm doing much better with it now. So I do want to show you Canva. I want to show you how easy it is to use. And I'll just walk you through like how I usually come in here. Now, for the first portion of the guide, I talk about promotion for the podcast teasers. Essentially, what you want to do when you're starting your podcast out is you actually do want to create teaser content. This teaser content is going to generate excitement for you. I did not do this when I started. I didn't even think about this until after I started, because in my head, I was like, I need to rip this Band-Aid off, get the audio out there, and just cross my fingers. In retrospect, I wish I had built an audience. It would have probably helped me out when I started to have generate a little bit more listenership when the podcast started. And that's a mistake that I wanted to highlight that I made, that I would love it if you all are able to do better than me. You can pick any platform you want for your creative and for your promotion. Now, I am not on social media. I'm not a huge social media user. I am not on TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. I have none of these items. My husband has them. He'll show me things from the family, but I don't have any of these things. What I do have is LinkedIn. Now, I use LinkedIn heavily for podcast promotion. That is my platform of choice. And early on, I very much was caught up in I have to be on Instagram. I have to be on TikTok to be successful. I have to be on those platforms. And for myself, I didn't download them onto my phone. I don't really want them on my phone. I wanted to just keep it all on the computer so that I had a line. As I mentioned in the editing module, I have a lot of non-negotiables, and I don't really want anything to really intrude on the precious time I have with my kids or my husband when I walk away from my desk and when I walk away from my screens. I'm on screens all day long. So in the evenings, I actually try not to be. Minus podcasting. Anyway, so using Instagram was a challenge for me. Using TikTok is a challenge for me. I am challenged in these areas. And again, you would think I wouldn't be, because I do work in these spaces for my professional job, or for my daytime job rather, but I just am not an active user of them. So for me, it was cumbersome. It was painful in some instances where I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go in here and do this. And then it just kind of flickered, this moment of, why am I not using LinkedIn? There's thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people on LinkedIn. When LinkedIn first came out, I'm going to date myself. And for those of you listening, you might also remember this, but when LinkedIn came out, I was in my early 20s. I think I was about 23, 24, somewhere in there. And I remember being like, oh, that's like an old person's platform. It really was just professionals like literally linking to each other. And I remember getting an invite from somebody being like, oh, come to LinkedIn. And I was like, what the hell is this? And I opened a profile, but I kind of just let it be. Now, as a growing professional and a growing podcaster, I see LinkedIn as a platform that's untapped. There are not a lot of content creators on LinkedIn. And so bringing all of my attention there to a platform where I'm most comfortable is actually generating the best kind of results for me, because I love that platform so much and because I already have a presence there. If you are on Facebook all the time and that's your jam, promote it on Facebook. Like, you have to pick what works best for you. Do not feel like you need to be plugging into anybody else's format of how things are done. Now, I will say this. I do eventually, like, we have an Instagram account for Steel Roses podcast. I will occasionally put things there. I am eventually going to start leaning in there more, as well as TikTok. Like, I am going to spread the love across the platforms, including YouTube. Like, there's tons of opportunity out there, but I'm doing it at my pace and I'm doing it when I feel most comfortable with it, because again, the more complex you make it, the less likely you are going to be able to handle these things. And so it's important that you pick a platform that you are most comfortable on. So what I'll do here now is I'm going to screen share for you. You're going to see my Canva account. So you're actually going to see some creative that's already out there into the world. And I'm just going to show you basically how easy it is to create one of these templates here. So over here, you're going to see all of my, these are all my little tiles for promotion on social media. This is the guide that you've purchased. I created that in Canva as well. I have my farewell to season 1. Like, all these things are here. They all live in here. I am actually crazy about filing things in here as well. If you haven't read the file organizing section of the guide yet, you'll laugh, but I am a little bit crazy about that in Canva as well. But you can see up top here, they literally have all these templates already preset for you. All you have to do is select one and start working within it. What I'm going to do here, because I want to show you how to actually edit it, is I'm going to create a copy so that you can see how easy it is to go in here and do this. So you essentially will click on the piece. I'm going to scrub out all this information because I don't need any of that. You'll see here, this is now blank. This is actually a frame that they have over here, and they offer you elements. You basically just have to pick whatever you want. So if you were so inclined, you can use photos, you can use graphics, you can use videos. You can literally drag it, drop it right in. I mean, it cannot be done in an easier way. In terms of, this is actually a really cute video. I'm wondering if I could do it there too. Look at that. I mean, it is literally that simple. In terms of text, you would add a title in here. This is the title of my amazing, if I could spell, podcast. I mean, you really can go as far as you want or as little as you want. Go as simplistic as you want. What I encountered in the beginning was I was changing up the styles of my posts. You can keep them consistent. You don't have to change the style of your post. You can keep the same format and same outline and change up the colors of your post. Like, you really, again, you're going to work through this and you're going to find a rhythm that makes the most sense for you. So you can keep your designs consistent. You can post weekly. You can create a group. You can create banners for social media. You can run ads on social media. On Instagram, I'm not as familiar on TikTok, but on Instagram, I run ads on Instagram, and you could run it for a day. You could run it for 5 days. I ran our farewell to season 1 ad for 2 weeks because I wasn't going to produce any new episodes in those 2 weeks. I wasn't going to launch anything. So I wanted to make sure that we had a consistent presence. So I ran an ad for 2 weeks and it just had a learn more button, brought people to the podcast. That's the other thing that I want to highlight here. You want to make sure you have a call to action. If you have no call to action, nobody knows what to do with the information you're providing. You can say, this is the title of my amazing podcast. This is the content of the podcast. Thank you so much. And it goes up. Well, what happens now? What will happen with that post? You want to redirect them somewhere. So if you're in the teaser phase of your launch, what you will do is you can create a Facebook group or you can create a LinkedIn group and you can title it whatever the title of your podcast is going to be. And then you can just start inviting people to it, start producing information, and it will basically be your area to promote whatever it is you're doing on your podcast. If you create a group, that's already your target audience for whenever you have something new coming out, you're releasing something new, that's your target group right there. If you don't do a group, which again, I didn't do any of this when I started. If you decide not to do a group right away, or if you just want to, crank out some teasers and start generating some interest, you can do that as well. But you want to make sure you're pointing people somewhere. So if you don't have a podcast share page yet, you have to point them to maybe a mailing list or a form that they have to fill out where you can obtain their email addresses. Then you can email them when the podcast is launched. You can point them to, if you have a website, you can point them to a website and say, you can visit this for now. Keep an eye out for more updates from me. What I would recommend heavily is producing a teaser audio. If you produce a teaser audio, that is basically you just saying, I have this great podcast. This is what's going to come in the podcast. This is why I'm excited about the podcast. You can gear all of your social to point to your podcast share page and tell people, subscribe now so you don't miss any episodes. That's really going to be the key component there for you, is making sure people see your creative and want to click on it to subscribe. So your creative should have whatever the title of the episode is. If you want, if you're using guests, get a picture, get an image of the guest, put that on your creative tile. And then you want to have abbreviated snippets, something that's going to be eye-catching for the viewer to say, oh, I actually want to listen to this. We did an episode on the mental load of motherhood. That topic is everywhere. Everybody loved that episode. You basically just want to make sure that you're drawing people in, that they'll be able to, at a glance, look at your post and say, you know what, this interests me. You only have a few seconds on social media to grab someone's attention. I watch my children and my husband quite a bit when they're flipping through their phone. My kids don't have social media. I just want to say that. They will look at their kid YouTube videos, but even them, when they're scanning through their little device, very quickly the finger goes. And now they're kids, like, oh, well, it's their kids. Their attention span isn't long. I watch my husband, I watch my mother, I watch my family, I watch my friends. Everybody zips through things so quickly. And I actually get annoyed sometimes. I'm like, you didn't even watch that. Like, you missed that whole video. And they're like, oh, I saw it already. Okay, that means you have about 3 to 5 seconds to grab someone's attention. So in those really brief moments, you need to have something that's gonna grab their attention. You will get great at this because this is part of the process. And the reason why you're going to get great at it is because you are excited about your podcast. Your excitement about your podcast and about your content is what is going to draw people in to your podcast. Leverage that excitement in your creative. Leverage the excitement in everything you're doing. And maybe part of your teasers is just little audio snippets that you grab of yourself and you throw them onto your social promotion. You can layer in audio into your social promotion. And as you can see, you can layer in video. It's all there. It's all really packaged up these days for you. And it's all very easy to do. Check out Canva and mess around in there. You can create a free account. Every account you can go after, every platform you go after, check out the free version first. Check out how they're doing things for free. That's really going to be how you can see, like, well, what's the benefits if I decide to get a paid plan through these guys. So again, I hope that you found this module helpful. The creative part of it is actually the fun part of it. And again, this is an area you can outsource to if you really don't want to do it. Like, you can always hire someone to listen to your episode and produce some content for you. Hope you found this informative, and check out Canva. I can't wait to see what your creative looks like.